group. This is his deciding game. The outcome of this match will affect whether he goes up to the upper bracket or to the lower bracket, or whether he has a chance of going to the lower bracket.
That's right. Now, Richard has a PB of 32.49, while Lurking has a PB of 38.10. However, anything can happen in the middle of a race.
Yeah, definitely. And we can see they differ on their input methods. Richard primarily plays on controller, but does switch to keyboard and mouse quite frequently, while Lurking plays on keyboard and mouse. Well, it doesn't say that Lurking is going for these tricks, but in the past we have seen him attempt Fast Stompless and the Grotto Cycle before, so we'll see whether he pulls those off successfully. In terms of health cells, both our runners are. I'm sorry. Richard is going for 5 health, or depending on the situation, while Lurking is going to go for 6 health.
Mm-hmm. And Richard had mentioned prior that he's not sure whether he's going to go for Fast Stompless. So we'll have to see about that, whether he's feeling comfortable enough in the run to go for it. He will be looking at Lurking's race, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, definitely. And what kind of race do you want to see from this? Do you want a close race where the runners are neck and neck, or do you want a kind of a more exciting race where the lead changes from time to time? What do you think?
I want to see the runners neck and neck. I totally want to see the runners going at it, back and forth, both of them having a really good run. And I think we're going to get to say that today.
Yeah. It looks like we have a little bit of time, but how safe do you think these runners are going to play?
Lurking seems like they're going to be playing it pretty safe. Richard, I don't know, because he is taking 5 health for a final escape, and that's pretty scary.
Oh no, definitely. That is a spooky prospect. But he is on controller. It's controller swimming is a lot more satisfying than keyboard and mouse swimming.
That's true.
Yeah. So after this race, we'll see how the standings goes, because currently Lurking is at 1-1 in his race record, while Richard is 1-0. And so what this means for the group is that if Richard wins this race, Richard will have a 2-0 and will be proceeding to the winners, the upper bracket, because he will have a record of 2-0, while Mills Mess and Lurking will have a record of 1-2 and 0-2 respectively. On the other hand, if Lurking wins this game, he'll have a record of 2-1, and so he does have the possibility of going up to the upper bracket.
Which is why I really want to see a good race today, because, with this group, anything goes at this point.
Yeah, it might even come down to best race time. We'll see.
What are your thoughts on the race? What do you think we're going to see?
I'm thinking we're going to see attempts. Because this is such an important race, I would not be surprised if the nerves get to our runners a little bit. So we might see multiple attempts at these tricks. But both Richard and Lurking have pulled off some very cool saves in the past. Maybe I want to see some of those. It's always nice to see our runners pull their run from the brink.
Oh yeah. Looks like we should be getting started pretty soon, or?
Yeah, we have our countdown now, and so we will be heading into our race shortly. We'll be proceeding through glades, and we'll see how it goes.
I love that transition. It's so smooth.
It is very nice. Major shout out to all of the people behind the scenes putting in their effort for this race.
Absolutely, and it looks like we're off.
All right, both of our runners getting the prologue skip. No troubles there. It's very easy to mismenu that. I don't think we've seen a major mishap in this tournament so far.
We've seen the soft block once.
Yeah.
Now both our runners heading through the beginning of the game in glades. Looks like Rich is a little ahead, but this is the first part, so anything goes with these jumps.
Yeah.
Now both runners coming up to the first energy cell, which is one of the main resources of getting certain tricks done in the game.
Yeah, we can use our energy to save, and we can use our energy to go fast. And later on in the game, it does turn out to be a balancing act between these two, saving for safety and burning the energy for speed. But we'll see how fast these runners can take this Frankie fight. We've seen a lot of different variations on this fight, with the goal of getting through it as quickly as possible.
Both runners have been picking up Sign, which is our main method of attacking in this game, and going through the first part of killing these Frankies. Looks like both runners getting through pretty easily.
Just mashing those shots out to kill these Frankies as quick as they can. Let's see how aggressively they take. Ooh. Richard having a little bit of trouble with that first jump. Put him slightly behind, but nothing major. But we'll see how aggressively they'll be managing their health for this upcoming Ghost Sword.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Richard is currently sitting at 2 health and has not gotten any health pickups yet. But the RNG on this is also... Oh, there he goes. Looks like he did get a pickup there. As they both pull up the rock and collect their first keystone.
Yep. Now they're going to be going up to the second keystone and hopefully not getting trolled by slimes. Which, this is Glades, that always happens.
Yeah. Lurking opting to kill that slime. Looks like he was at 1 health. So just for safety's sake, killing the slime so he doesn't have to deal with the damage boost. And our runners both get through the ghost door and head up to their 4th health cell.
Both runners choosing to pick up that health cell, meaning that they will not only have a 4th health that they can use to get through certain things, but they get a refill right here too.
Yeah, it's definitely very nice, because if you do an optimal ghost door, you're left at 1 health. You don't want to be going through glades. Yeah, there's a lot of enemies in this section that our runners will be trying their best to avoid. Yeah, Lurking's going to watch this cutscene. Jump up across. Yeah, so...
Richard coming up to the drop down going towards wall jump. Hopefully he'll get the level up either going down or back. Looks like he's going to get the level going down to the tree, which causes the explosion so that all the brambles won't be there on his way back up.
Yeah, it's depending on your position, it's nice to get the explosion on the way down. You do pick up a little bit less experience, so we will have to account for that. But Lurking on the right hand side of your screen, also getting his level up on the way down, so successfully pulling off that minor trick.
Richard getting the first, full skill of the game, which is wall jump. That's going to be really useful for getting out of this area and getting into the next area, which is Blackroot Burrows.
And it looks like we have... Oh, no. Yeah, he'll be making his way up. Looks like we have a little bit of issues on Lurking's end, but we'll be trying to get that back for you shortly. Makes his way up the log very nicely. Has no problems with that. We've seen that log give some of our runners trouble in the past.
Gets over the slimes really nicely. Making his way, hopping back through this part of glades.
Yeah. This is heading over to Blackroot Burrows. We'll see whether Richard and Lurking, when we get a stream back up.
There we go! And it... No, there we go.
Yeah. We'll see when the streams come back up.
From what we could see, it looks like Lurking's not far behind.
Yeah, there we go.
Look on the left side, Richard's coming up to the first save anywhere to skip this cutscene and get into Blackroot.
Yeah. We'll be seeing how dangerously these runners want to live and see what kind of safety saves they place as Richard skips his cutscene and heads out past the slow zone.
Both runners taking Magnet, it seems.
Yeah, looks like they both want to pick up the experience from these slides and just set that upcoming Frankie walk up.
Yeah, so the experience going through Blackroot is really important for that trick. Ooh! Oh, Richard having 4th health saves it!
Yeah. If you don't take any damage, you can take 1 hit from these spikes. And it definitely comes in handy for Richard there. He did have a safety save placed on the platform with the orb, so it wouldn't have been a major time loss, but it's a good save nonetheless.
Oh, barely dodging those shots, too. That was nice. Lurking hot in his heels, though.
It looks like
do the save and quit to reset the cycles.
Yeah, he made his way very cleanly through that area, so he will be manipulating these cycles. Let's see if Lurking attempts. No, he doesn't. He's just going to wait for these, so he's just slightly behind. This is a very close race.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lurking doing a little manipulation there. We'll see how it pays off for him. As we'll see how Richard's manipulation paid off. Oh, that was
beautiful. Cycle's just right.
He had plenty of time to get to that platform, and so he's doing a couple of ward drops. Let's see how many he's able to get. As Lurking's also successfully manipulated these platforms, and we'll be heading up to the lever to get this statue up from the ground.
Absolutely.
This area is kind of dark, so you don't get to see it very much, but there are all these mechanical parts in the background that I think just are a really cool touch, like for these levers and these crushers in this area.
Mm-hmm. Now both coming up to skipping another cutscene, and Richard on your left coming up to the dash tree. Now, this is where we start going not really fast, at least somewhat faster.
With dash, you can dash across the ground at a very, very fast speed, and you can also dash across gaps like Richard did right there at a not quite as fast, but still respectably fast nonetheless. And he'll be making his way to Frankie Walk.
Choosing not to go for the save on the teleporter, so let's see how that works out for him.
The Spirit Well save does take quite a bit of time compared to a normal save, so it's not. We don't see our runners take that save very often. We normally see it in cases where they want to refill their health or energy.
That's about an 11-second difference after dash, so this is still anyone's game.
Yeah, Lurking on the right-hand side is having a little bit of trouble with the frog. It's not quite cooperating with him, but he's going to be manipulating the position so that it doesn't get stuck here. And we'll be seeing how he gets through this section as Richard makes his way and is going to be attempting Death Glide. Takes a hit, but does have health. He must have picked up a bramble somewhere, or health from a bramble somewhere.
Lurkins through the door as Richard's going down the bridge. Lurking choosing to bait the Frankie out in the water so it jumps in so he doesn't have to go over it.
Oh, and Richard gets his God Cycle, getting that ramp up nicely. As Lurking has made his way through Death Gauntlet and has got energy to save.
Alright, so Richard now making his way down to the double jump tree. Gets over the slime, gets over the Frankie.
Yeah, very clean movement from him so far. And Lurking also going for this setup. Doesn't quite make it up the wall the way he wants to, and so he'll be waiting for these seconds. Yeah, minor time loss. Well, yeah, as Richard gets through that blind movement very cleanly. So, he's making his way out of Grotto.
Lurking coming up to the ghost door. Gets that cleanly.
Yeah, so no major difference for our runners, just a slight execution of movement. And so that's where the main difference is. But Richard's coming up on Grotto Skip. Doesn't quite make the jump on the first try, but does get it second try. So nicely done for him.
Lurking going through his own fly movement now. Doesn't? Looks like he chose to opt out of it. Ooh.
Well, it looks like he's taking it safe here. Just going to wait for that Frankie.
Richard coming to pick up the Water Vein very shortly, which is the way we get into Ginso Tree. The first dungeon of the game, and really the only one we see.
Yeah, we skip all of Oru, never go into Forlorn. But I think out of all the dungeons, it is my favorite dungeon. So what about you?
Well, I mean, we don't really see horror that much, so it's not like that really counts.
I guess so.
Lurking getting a first try on the Grotto Skip. Really smooth movement.
He's definitely making up some time here. We'll be seeing how he goes up these grotto walls. This area is notorious for not killing runs, but for you can lose time here and there, like on that jump, for example. Is very difficult to double jump cleanly up these walls.
And getting the skip to go through these small cutscenes that are littering the top of Grotto.
Yeah, and on the left-hand side of your screen, Richard made his way up to that ability cell very cleanly. That jump is not quite as difficult as Grotto Skip, but is kind of finicky nonetheless. It's not uncommon to see runners lose a little bit of time there, but Richard makes it look easy.
Lurkin's taking a bit of damage from that drop in slime, so be a little more careful.
Yeah, and on the left-hand side of your screen, Richard did take some damage from the purple spinner, so he had to kill that slime, but he just takes it nice and safe, and we'll be heading into Ginso after skipping this cutscene. And Kuma's still holding the water vein as we're placing the water vein in the door. So it was a funny sight to see.
Lurking getting through that little part to get up to the ability cell himself. And Richard starting the climb up into Ginso Tree. Very vertical dungeon.
Yeah, it tests your double jumping abilities and your wall jumping abilities. Oh, as Richard, well, he'll have to take a little bit careful on these cycles coming up. We'll see how he deals with that. Having to wait a little bit, but he makes it through. Will he be dropping a save? Couldn't quite see.
It.
But Richard's an experienced runner. He knows when to place saves and when he wants to. Taking a little bit of damage in the teleporter room, but he has the health. Placing down another save should get him back some of that health. Preparation for the mini boss.
Lurking making his own way up the Ginso Tree.
Yeah, let's see how this mini boss goes for Richard. He's going to want to look for these one-frame cells as the boss despawns from one position and respawns in another. See a little white puff of smoke comes out. Let's see. Looks like he is following the boss, but on the right-hand side of the screen, Lurking is having a little bit of trouble with this room.
Interesting thing about Richard, I do not believe he switches to keyboard mouse for that boss, even though he does do hybrid setup.
Cool, that is interesting. Oh, placing a save, so he should be at the correct health. Oh, taking some damage, so he's going to have to be careful in this next room. Won't be able to do the setup that many of our runners prefer. Double jumping there to avoid taking damage. So he has his health set up now, and so he can do this ghost door. Oh.
Ooh. Oh,
he did the hyperspeed.
Hyperspeed. It does appear I may have been incorrect that he may do actually switch to keyboard mouse there, because that mashing looked rather fast.
And
With
so,
that, Lurkin's right in his heels.
yes, Lurking's coming up to his mini boss, and but on the other side of your screen, Richard has collected Bash. He's going to be making his way up through this redirect puzzle, and is going to be going for this Bash around the end. Very nicely done. We'll be setting up his Kidu.
Taking some damage on the wall going up. Set up for the Kidu.
And Lurking's just finishing up with his mini boss. Had to take.
I don't think he got it.
Oh no!
He didn't get it. Oh.
So that'll give Lurking a little bit of time to catch up, make his way up to the Bash tree and Kidu. See
Get
if he
second
can...
time.
Nice. We can see if he'll be able to make use of this time that Richard's given him.
And Lurking is through the other ghost door and to the Bash tree.
And Richard pulling off a very clean hyperspeed there, just zooming across into the mini boss room.
Oh.
Taking a very quick death. It's not the worst in the world. And just going to that first pillar to make it up that wall. That double jump is very precise too. Or is a game of all these precise double jumps.
That it is.
And Lurking has made his way up past this redirect puzzle. We'll be going for Kidu. Let's see if he can get his Kidu first.
And Richard's on his way to go enter the swamp area. Now, we don't clean the water anymore, so get here a bit differently.
Yeah, we'll be taking this frog and we'll be manipulating its shots and its position in such a way that we can break some barriers. We'll see how cleanly Richard can do this movement. Oh, as Lurking takes a death on his way back up to the key door.
He did get the key to first try. I'm wondering if he rekindled the save afterwards.
Well, he is going for all 4 keystones, as Richard's got his frog in the correct position. He will have to take some damage, so he will be very low. As you can see, he has 1 health. But if he bashes these projectiles, he shouldn't have too much of a problem. Yeah, it makes it through. And Lurking is doing a little bit different strategy for this mini-boss. Standing on the middle pillar and bashing these shots rather than bashing them from the left side wall. Maybe he just doesn't want to make that jump that it seemed Richard had some trouble with before.
That's correct, and Richard is now at Stomp.
So he'll be using the skill to travel down very quickly, as you'll see shortly. And with this skill collected, he's going to be making his way out. He did do the blind movement, so he won't have to worry about the lasers or anything like that. And he'll go up to Kuro Cutscene and we'll see if he gets that successfully. It does save quite a bit of time to not watch that cutscene. So, and we prefer not to see Kuro in this run at all.
Lurkin coming up to his own swamp entry.
Yeah, so he'll be... No, this frog's kind of fries. This frog is kind of shy, so he's going to be running away from him. Baiting the shot out, bashing it up, bashing it across into the spike pit. We'll see whether he goes for the double... He is going to bash it across to break this platform. Bash it one more time into the corner. Collect this cell. Bash this shot up so that he can get the height to get this shot up. And he gets it first try. Very nicely done from Lurking.
As Richard gets Kuro Cutscene skip. Though it does look like nothing happened.
And also going for this 5th health. So very safe. Playing it very safe here for Richard. He does know that he is ahead by a sizable margin. And so he opts to take that safety here. Doing a nice stomp stall to get out of the 5th energy. And Lurking, not having the cleanest movement, had to go around because he couldn't get the bash up to the log. But he'll be making his way out of this area shortly.
Richard getting that Frankie to follow him to the Charge Flame tree. Charge Flame being one of the first abilities the game wants you to get, but we get it 7th. Lurking is 6 seconds ahead of his PB coming out of the Stomp tree.
Yeah, so he is making good time for himself. We'll see. He did take a little bit of damage here, took a quick bath in the water. See if he opts to save just like that to make it a little bit easier. Getting this frog cell is kind of annoying at times. Like the frogs just want to run away from you. And so, just like that. And it looks like
back up.
He does know the backup. He is going to be breaking these platforms. This is the intended strat for this room. You can bash off these projectiles. And so, just like that, Lurking's doesn't quite get the distance that he wants on that dash.
On the left side of your screen, Richard is heading up to the trick we like to call Stompless. Now, he's...
Oh no!
Did he... Oh no!
Lurking took a death, but it's okay because now he has a second attempt at getting up with this frog. This is significantly faster than the backup he was doing.
No, Richard's going for it. Richard's gonna bash up through these. He's gonna go up to here and bash this shot so it hits something off screen. No, he's not. He's gonna reset it.
Didn't like that shot, I suppose. On the right side, Lurking did take another... and another death. He's having trouble with this frog getting up to this cell. It's so easy to get stuck in a loop.
Richard going for Stompless, which he said he might do if he got Fast Stompless down. I'm not sure if he got it.
It doesn't seem like he did. Yeah. But he did get Fast Stompless successfully, so he will have skipped that cutscene and will be making his way up into Sorrow Pass. But keep your eyes peeled on the right-hand side of your screen as Lurking attempts his Kuro cutscene skip. It gets it beautifully.
Wondering when he'll drop a safety save though, because he didn't do it before.
Well, he's going for this 5th health, so maybe he'll place the save after this health. We'll see.
Richard going for Sorrow Bash.
Yeah, Richard's also placed the safety save up at the top of this area, just to make it nice and easy. As he makes it through...
Ooh. Lurking take a death right in the spikes, but has the save right before.
Yeah, he saved right after the energy, so all he needs to do is bait this projectile out of the spider, and he's got it now. That bash was a little bit close, but it seems like he's got it.
Richard going through since he has 4 health, he's going to be going through instant death spikes.
Well, no, he does have 5 health.
Oh, he does have 5 health.
He did pick up this health cell in Glades.
Ah.
Or not Glades, sorry. In the spider area. Lurking missing the cutscene skip for cell, so just picking up Charge Flame now. He is about 2 skills behind at this point, but we'll see if he's able to catch up.
Richard going back through the spikes.
With his save anywhere up.
Getting the Terror Break, and he's off to go not watch another cutscene.
We just don't want to see any cutscenes in this run. They take too long.
Lurking choosing to Charge Flame through the barrier.
Yeah, he does have energy to spare. He did not. And there is an energy at this stomp peg, and he did magnet successfully. Sometimes that energy just flies off the screen. But he should be doing just fine on energy. Doesn't have charge dash yet. It's not going for early C dash, so no chance of him losing any energy anywhere due to mistakes.
Now, looks like we're going to see a bit of a high five with Richard coming out of Sorrow Pass and Lurking heading up into it.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes for Fast Stompless. He has tried it in previous races, so we'll see.
It looks like he's going for it.
Not going up for that cell, so... Placing a save up at the very top. As Richard, on the left-hand side of your screen, makes his way through Misty Woods. Just doing a bunch of charge dashes, and canceling and refunding that energy with dashes.
And Lurking gets it!
Oh, nicely done.
Nice done.
Yeah, and well, oh, it looks like Richard's run out of energy in the middle of Misty. So either he'll have to pick up some energy somewhere, but he can't do the fastest strategies through this room.
He's gonna pick up the energy here.
And so he'll be able to charge dash. He'll probably save this one energy. I don't think he'll place down a safety save. Generally, the strategy is to get yourself down to one energy and use it to go fast.
Lurking heading up to Sorrow Pass himself. Safety saving up by the top of the area. And Richard getting to the climb tree.
Yeah, so we'll see how he does on this second half of Misty as Lurking goes for his Sorrow Bash. Oh, kills the bird with his charge dash. That was unfortunate. He didn't quite get the height that he wanted from that bash. But he'll be baiting these birds again. And Lurking does a...
intentional damage.
Yeah, Lurking does a variation on Sorrow Bash to bait this bird into position. Rather than bashing it into position. And just taking that damage, accepting it. But this is very dangerous because now he is at 1 health and has not saved yet.
See how much energy he's at. He's going for the safety save here. Just good.
And he's going to be making his way through the spikes as Richard is taking it kind of slow. Back half of Misty. Oh, taking a little bit of damage. We'll probably see another safety save from him, just like that. And make his way up here. He does have the energy to do this rocket jump and still do the quick kill on the mini-boss, so we'll see that and see if he goes for the rocket jump here.
Does not look like he's gonna.
He wanted to go for meatball strats, which is where you charge up, take a damage, charge jump up, take a damage boost, and charge jump again. But he decides not to after taking it the first time. He did place a safety save right before, but...
And now he's going into the mini-boss. Or, well, what mini-boss?
Yeah, it's I didn't see a mini-boss. I just saw a bunch of particle effects.
Lurking through Terror Break as well and heading up to Sunstone.
Yeah, he made it cleanly to charge jump tree and back, just deciding not to hold the save anywhere through his movement, instead opting to place the save at the platform, just floating up to it. It's a little bit slower, but a lot safer than having to go through the spikes with a dark screen.
Richard on his way to get the last ability of the game, Light Grenade. Which means we have to revisit Blackroot Burrows just a bit. It's a lot faster than the first time, because now we have all of the movement abilities that we can use to go fast.
Yeah, this Blackroot revisit is it's always pretty fun, because you can just skip these slimes right here. And there's a couple of quick cycle manipulations for these lasers. We'll see if Richard does go for them.
Looks like he does.
Yeah, getting through on the earliest cycle possible for both. Placing this save, he is going to be skipping this cutscene, which is the longest cutscene in this. Not the longest cutscene in this game, but the longest in this run that we can see.
And Lurkin taking a bit of damage going for Misty here, but it's like he's doing the movement really cleanly.
He's at 4 health, so he can still take another hit from spikes. So we'll see how he goes through. He is at 1 energy, so maybe he'll opt to save, or maybe he'll opt to use the energy to go fast.
Looks like he's going to use the energy to save.
Yeah, wise choice. Yeah.
A little slower, but definitely a lot safer.
Richard's made his way up, out, going past this boulder area, dashing under the crushers, picking up his 6th health cell. We'll see if he opts to take the health cell in Horror Fields, but I wouldn't expect it. 7 health is 1 health is enough of a buffer. It is doable at 5 health, and so a 1
Doable,
health.
but extremely scary.
Yes, that's true.
Lurking, picking up climb.
Yeah. And so he'll be going through his back half Misty as Richard skips the health cell like expected. Let's see what strategies he opts to use. Takes a little bit of damage from that falling slime. I wouldn't be surprised to see him place a safety save after
He's at 1. This is going to be a little tight. Does choose to go for the safety save there as Richard comes up to door warp.
How many attempts do you think?
I want to say 2.
I want to say 1. I think Richard has been playing pretty well so far, and he does get it first try. Nicely done.
Lurking 3 HP, meaning that each spike in here is deadly to him.
So let's see if he opts to place a save and regain that health. Now he's back up to 5. Smart decision.
Alright.
Oh, loses his energy. Does an unintentional double bash there. So he'll be taking it a little bit slower through the rest of this area.
Richard's coming up to the final escape.
Yeah, Lurking took a death while stomping through these spikes. And Richard also taking a death, stomping into fire. Apparently Stomp is a dangerous skill.
Looks like he stomped into the fire on purpose because he had taken some damage.
Oh.
So if you take any damage going through escape before you hit the water, you have to start over from the beginning of it. Which is always scary. Because speaking of water, here he comes. Through it. It's the first bash off the fish, the second bash, and he's through!
Taking only 4 health. Looks like that extra health wasn't needed, but it's nice to have anyway. He's going to set up for his grenade jump, gets in position, charges up.
And he's through!
It looked good.
He's through!
What a run from Richard. First try grenade jump. Oh, that is not an easy feat. He did take a little bit of time to set it up, but it was well worth it.
Lurkin now coming up to the mini-boss. Spider Shot almost hitting him. A bit of damage.
Yeah, he wanted to charge jump, charge dash these mini bosses, but he's out of energy now, and so he'll be charge jumping up through them.
As Richard is finished with the run, his final time is going to be 33:30.
A very good run from Richard here, solidifying his place in the upper bracket with a record of 2-0. It's a bit unfortunate for Lurking, but our runners aren't out of the tournament yet. We do have a lower bracket, and everyone in the group stages will be heading into the bracket stage one way or the other.
That they will. Lurking heading out through Misty, ends back into Blackbird himself to pick up Grenade.
We'll see how he goes through this area. Getting the dash glide over gets a little bit of that slow zone. And normally we just want to skip these slow zones. You can dash glide over them and in the air as well.
Lurkin heading down into the area for Grenade, going through the slime area. Getting the laser cycle. We need to wait for this one, so we can get through on 1 health. A little bit spooky.
But he places a save. He has enough energy to charge jump up to this and still place a save at the top, so he's good. Having a little bit trouble placing the save because that bird was in the area. Can't save around enemies in this game, as you would expect.
Nice skip.
Gets the skip and has collected his last skill, so all he has to do is go to Horu and finish the escape. We'll see how cleanly he's going to be trying to do this movement. Oh, throwing in a cheeky grenade jump here. Gets it! Oh, that's one of my favorite.
Oh.
Goes a little bit too far, but that was really cool.
That was still really nice.
Taking a bit slow on these cycles. I don't blame him. These cycles are so spooky. You've seen some of our more experienced runners try to rocket jump up through these lasers. That's even spookier.
Takes a bit of damage from the spikes, but does safety save just in case.
And so we'll be picking up this last, bashing off the frog because he missed the charge jump. We'll be taking up this last health cell for safety. And making his way to Swamp, so all he has to do is get through Horu Fields.
Lurking's on track for a new best time in the group stage for him for about a minute. About a minute ahead of doing that. Like a pretty good time for him. He's going for it.
A bit high. Oh, that stomps in
Saves
time.
it.
Very nicely done.
He's
Another
going for
one.
more.
What a madman. These are some crazy grenade jumps. Oh. It goes a little bit too fast up it past the elemental. I was having a bit of trouble with his rock. He didn't push it out very far.
He's going again. And he gets it again. The madman.
What a player. So bonking off the wall that time, so you won't see it taking it slow there to try and avoid the laser. Ah. Oh, that laser is rough. If you go too fast, you do get caught. And if you go too slow, well, you do get caught.
And again!
Oh my gosh.
He seems to have that one down really nicely.
He does. He's making these jumps look easy. I would not be surprised if we got a first try grenade jump in the final escape. Making it past the elemental, I wonder if he'll save. He did. Will he be going for this? No. It looked like he wanted to go. This is probably the most precise grenade jump in Horu
Going for this one.
Just going for this backup grenade jump.
Gets that one too. He's making this look really easy.
Yeah, and has entered Horu. Did take a couple of deaths on the way here, but well, we'll see how he does in the escape.
Now Lurkin's gonna go for his door warp. See, first try. Ah. Come on, Lurkin.
Ooh, he's having a little bit of trouble with this trick. It is so precise. There's not the best cues for it. Some players prefer to time this trick. Some players prefer to use a visual cue. What do you prefer, Hugo?
Personally, I prefer to time it.
Many of our runners do. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Looks like he's still in a bit of trouble.
This trick is so
And he's
rough.
through!
Nice! It gets even worse at the end of a run when you're on PB pace and your hands are shaking because you're nervous, you want to do well. Timing that trick is so hard, so difficult. It looks like it was his 10th attempt at doorway. But he's made it through. He'll be going through this escape.
Saved himself right there.
Yeah, making liberal use of these charge dashes to get. Taking it a bit slow on this lava pillar. Some of our runners do go for the first cycle, some of them go for the second. He hasn't taken damage so far.
Saves it.
Gets the bash up. Taking it slow, stomping into the water, making it around that log, bashing off the second fish.
Through the fish.
And he's through. Taking 5 damage there, so that health coming in handy for him.
Going for the mid jump, he is. Sets it up. And trying again. Second attempt. It's good. Good, and he's through!
He's through. Nice.
Right, good job lurking.
Yeah. We saw a little bit of spaghetti, as some of our runners call it, in the latter half of the game, but makes it through, and he will be not quite improving his time, but going to hop across with Naru, who we haven't seen before this.
And the hops!
Doing a
the
little bit of
hops!
hops.
Lurking's final time will be 41-42. Good job to Lurking, good job to Richard, and it looks like we're going to get Richard in here for maybe 1 or 2 questions. And I believe that is him.
Hello.
Hello, Richard!
How are you doing, Poogle and F? How did the commentary go for you?
It went well. So, a quick question for you. What were you thinking after your fast Stompus attempts?
I mean, I think overall, like, I kind of checked out of PBing in that run after my bash split was kind of poor. So I kind of just wanted to make sure I got everything right. And if you looked at my fast Stompus attempts, I kind of messed up my first attempt, and I had to go back up because I wasn't 100% confident with it. I just wanted to make sure I got all the tricks that I knew cleanly throughout the rest of the run after that.
You did get it, though.
That is true.
Yeah, and so with this win over Lurking, you have solidified your place in the upper bracket. How does that make you feel?
That is pretty much my my one goal that I had is just well, my primary goal was to win a match, but it feels good to be in the winner's bracket at the very least, because I think I'm probably going to lose against Steinman, but you never know.
You never know. Well, I think...
Congratulations to you there, and congratulations to Lurking for getting through that run with a very good time.
Yeah, congrats to both our runners. And I think that's it for us. Once again, I'm F.
I'm Poogle. Thank you to our restreamer and our truckers. And it's going to be Grimelios versus Eviona immediately next. So keep your hands on, guys. This is going to be good.